So can anyone tell me what we discussed about in the last class? About habits. What does the author say about on habits? Why is the habit important? The author has written a very beautiful essay about on habits.
In the first paragraph, ma'am, the author tries to say that whatever we used to be get habitual with, we just whenever something different comes with, we can't handle it. Like the author used to be write all those things with the help of pencil, ma'am. But when he get the pen, he was not able to write a single letter.
All right. So be very careful of your Vinayak, of your subject verb agreement and your tenses. So when you're talking, when you're narrating, be very careful when you're using which tense are you going to use. So the author talks about his own experiences. And the first experience which he wrote about is,
Ma'am,
he talks about that he used to he was habituated to on writing with a pencil only. And once when he was offered a pen, when he was given a pen, he could not write anything. That it went like a mule. It was so slow that he hardly moved. It hardly moved, and he could not write even a single word. But after struggling for quite some time, he had to throw away the pencil. Throw away the pen and pick up his pencil again, and only then he could continue with his writing. And then he compares the pencil with a horse. It's like racing. The words were racing in his mind, and he was racing. It was racing. And when he was with a pen, it became like a mule. What is a mule? Mule क्या होता है?
mule, ma'am.
Yeah, what is a mule? Do not know.
No, ma'am.
Okay, then someone find out and tell me what is a mule. क्या होता है mule?
एक एनिमल होता है.
हाँ, कौन सा एनिमल होता है बताओ ना. He compares a pen to a mule and he compares a pencil with a horse. So what can be a slow moving animal? A mule particularly?
खच्चर मैम.
हाँ, जो इतना स्टबन होता है कि वो आगे बढ़ता ही नहीं है.
That is why it is pronounced like that, I think.
Yeah. So just look at the how he makes himself clear. Like a pencil is like a horse. It went on racing. He went on writing. The non-stop writing. The words were coming and he was writing. But when he picked up a pen, it became a stubborn animal. It became a stubborn mule. And he could not even write a single word. So you guys, please switch on your cameras. Hello, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Clearly.
All right. So the first episode was the pen and pencil episode, where he creates a funny comparison, like a horse and a mule. You have to put all these things in your answers. So, in the present essay, the writer shows how most people are the slaves of habits. Yes, you become a slave of habit. Like, if you are in a habit of biting nails, you will definitely bite nails. You will become a slave. He begins the essay by referring to his own habits of writing with a pencil. One morning, he sat down to write an article, but found that he could make no progress. Its reason was that he had, that he said, hello? What happened? Was somebody saying anything?
Ma'am, you are not.
Is the screen visible?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Screen is visible, ma'am.
Okay. So the reason was that he sat down with a new pen, which someone had presented him, commemorating of an anniversary. It was his anniversary, and somebody had presented him a pen. It was an excellent pen, but it refused to move on. It was a very good pen, but he could not write with it. He thought over it. It occurred to him that it was in conflict with the habit. And then he realized that it was a hobby, it was a habit with him, that he could not write with a pen. He was habitual on writing with a pencil, but at the same time, since he was sitting with a pen in his hand, the whole complex of habit was distributed. It means he was overpowered by his habit. The pen was unfamiliar to the touch. He could write the present essay only when he put up his pen and used a pencil. So this was the pen and pencil, and I elaborated like he compares it with a mule, and a horse. So he compared the pencil with a horse and a pen with a mule. So these were the two comparisons he made about pen and pencil. Now he elaborates. We are all bundles of habits. It means we have so many habits, good habits and bad habits. We are all bundles of habits neatly done up in coat and trousers. It means we are full of habits, can be good, can be bad. Even the non-observance of little habits may prove fatal to use. It means even if you're not observing, but you may be in a habituated, but you may be in a habit. You may not know you may not know this, but the others will tell you that you have got this habit. Sir Walter Scott describes his tyranny of a little habit in the story of his school days. So what happened in the school days? Let's see. He narrated to Rogers. Rogers was a boy. Rogers Scott told him that there was a boy in his class who always stood at the top. When he was asked a question, he always fumbled with his fingers at a particular button in the lower part of his waistcoat. Fumbled, it means he was always touching his coat button. Here lay the secret of his success. Okay, so this was the secret of his success. That he was, while he was answering the questions, he was fumbling the button of his waistcoat. One day somehow, Scott removed that button with a knife. And then he picked up a fight one day and he removed that button. And in class, what happened? So when a question was put to that boy, he could not answer, since his fingers searched in vain for the button. And he could not answer because he could not find that button. So he lost he lost of his first place in the class, and he used to come first, but he lost that first position in the class, and once and missed it. He could never regain it, and once when he had missed it, he could never find his own position again. In his later life, he fell a victim to the tyranny of habit, and in his later life, he became one unsuccessful person. And what had happened to him? He became a dropout from school. Dropout from school means he did not go to school at all, and then later he indulged in all other bad habits like smoking and drinking, and he ruined his life. So here the author tries to tell you that how a bad habit can really ruin you. Habits can cause failure in life as well as success. So it can cause failure if your habits are bad. If it is damaging, it can cause you failure. But if you have good habits, you can be successful. So this poor fellow early took to drinking and died of consumption. So what happened to this person, this little boy who grew up? He started drinking and then he died of over drinking, consumption. Most of us are habituated to something or the other, but habits should be a stick that we use, not a crutch to lean on. This line, you have to understand this line. And this is a topic for so many topics, for discussions, for speeches, for GDs. What does it mean? Habit should be a stick that we use. Will you use your habits or will the habit use you? If you are using your habits in a good sense, but if the habit is using you, this is in a bad sense. So use it. It should be a strict. You should be strictly controlled. It should be a stick to use, not a crutch. Crutch क्या होता है? What is a crutch?
Crutch means, ma'am, just like on which we can rely.
मैम कुर्सी या फिर सोफा?
नहीं, क्रच का मतलब होता है जो चल नहीं सकते हैं, किसी का पैर का ऑपरेशन होता है, वो चल नहीं पाते, उसको क्रच मिल जाता है उसको, जिसके सहारे से वो चलते हैं। जिनके पास पैर नहीं है अनफॉर्चुनेटली, उनको क्या मिलता है? दे यूज अ क्रच। क्रच के सहारे से वो चलते हैं। व्हाट इज दैट इन हिंदी? आई डोंट नो।
बैसाखी कहा जाता है।
हाँ 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 हाँ,
बैसाखी में।
हाँ हाँ, तो उसके सहारे से वो चलते हैं। तो हैबिट अपना बैसाखी बनाओगे या उसको एक स्टिक बनाओगे यूज करने के लिए, तो आपको अपाहिज बना देता है। बुरे बैड हैबिट्स कैन मेक यू अ स्लेव एंड विल डिसेबल यू। तो आपको सोचना है कि हैबिट्स को विल यू मेक इट अ क्रच और विल यू यूज इट एज अ स्टिक।
आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
वो हम क्या कर सकते हैं? आई कैन नॉट हेल्प इट, नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम्स है। तो ये हेलो,
आवाज ब्रेक हो क्या नहीं पा रहे हैं।
वो हम कुछ भी नहीं कर पाएंगे ना। आई कैन नॉट हेल्प इट, नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम्स है। So bad habits should be thrown away and good habits cultivated. ऑथर क्या यहाँ बोल रहे हैं? जितने भी बैड हैबिट्स हैं उनको डिस्कार्ड कीजिए, थ्रो अवे। और गुड हैबिट्स अगर नहीं है तो बनाइए, गुड हैबिट्स कल्टीवेट कीजिए। Gardiner, Gardiner had a problem of finding his quote, and the third episode he says that whenever he used to go in a club, Gardner had a problem of finding his coat and hat when he left his club. वो club जब जाते थे, and whenever he used to leave the club, he used to have a tough time finding his coat and hat. So he cultivated the habit of hanging them always in a particular peg or the one nearest to it. And then he made up his mind. He decided that he will develop a good habit कि एक खूटी पे वो टांगेंगे अपना कोट और अपना हैट और एक ही जगह पे टांगेंगे ताकि उनको दिक्कत आगे नहीं हो. This was a good habit which he cultivated. It worked and solved his problems. So this is all about habits, good habits and bad habits. And the author's view on 3 episodes, the pen pencil episode, the coat button episode, and the club episode, the coat and hat episode.
Ma'am, please elaborate the last one once more, ma'am. The coat and hat, ma'am.
Okay. They, you know, in London and in America, they always go out with a hat and a coat, you know. And if he will come to your house, the first thing he will do is put the hat and the coat on a particular peg. Peg का मतलब होता है खूटी पे डालना. और वो एक क्लब जाया करते थे. He used to go to a club where there were so many people, so many hats, so many coats, and he used to have a lot of problems finding his own hat and coat. So sometimes he used to put here, sometimes he used to put over there. So there were so many people, 100 people, 100 coats, 100 hats. So he had a lot of problems finding them. And then he decided, he chose one peg and every day he put it over there only. So that the next time, so that when the time came to go home, he just went and found the peg, or if it already taken, somebody already has put it there, he used to put his coat and cap in the next peg. Peg is a जो हिंदी में आप खूटी बोलते हैं, जहाँ कोट और ये टांगा करते हैं. So this was it, the coat and cap episode. He cultivated a good habit of placing his coat and hat at the right place at the right time always. This is it only. And this is not all. You will have to create an essay, write an essay on good and bad habits. What are your good habits? What are your bad habits? How has your good habit helped you? And how has your bad habit damaged you? Write this essay and as an assignment and send it to me. निखिल, मेरा assignment क्या है बताओ तो?
Bad habit or good habit?
हाँ. And what was my question?
The bit और good habit से क्या फायदा हो रहा है?
तुम जैसे फर्स्ट ईयर में थे ना, तुम अभी भी वैसे ही हो.
Yes, ma'am.
तो जरा सा तुम्हें चेंज नहीं आया. हमको लगता है तुम अब थोड़ा सा मैच्योर करके होगे, लेकिन नहीं. So the question again is, how discuss about your good and bad habits. How have you been benefited with your good habits? And how have your bad habits demoralized you, hurt you, caused harm to you? And make this presentation in the next class. And I want each and every one of you to make a presentation. Today there are 54 persons in the class.
By the means, ma'am, we have to write it and show it on the next class.
Speak on it.
Just speak it.
Let it be your speech class, okay? And don't forget, you are your class is going to be posted on YouTube, so you better watch out what you are dressing, how you are dressing, and it will be good if you put on your uniform, CIMAGE. It creates a good impression. right? All right. And now this is done. So what else we have to take care of? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
A £1 million banknote.
Yes, ma'am.
What, ma'am?
Wait. Yeah, some technical issues are there. Okay. So £1 million banknote, right? So Vinayak, you would like to make a presentation? I'm showing you the slides. It will help you to answer.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you see in the first slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, here signifies that two brothers, ma'am, brother A and brother B, and Henry Adams got a £1 million banknote from one of the brothers, ma'am.
Give us the background. What is it?
Ma'am, the background signifies that it is written in the story also, ma'am, that he went out on a sailing, ma'am, and due to some mischief, ma'am, he was rescued by a ship who was going to London, ma'am. So the background signifies that, ma'am. Like there are some boats also in the background, so it signifies that.
And he swept offshore, and he's a bank clerk, broker's clerk, and he's working there every Saturday and Sunday. He used to go on a holiday on a cruise, and
As a leisure time, ma'am.
leisure time, and his weekends he was spending his time on ship sailing and in the cruise and enjoying himself. And then one day, what happened when the weather was really rough, and he was swept offshore, but then he was rescued by the ship sailing by. He was rescued, and then he said, and then as he was the gentleman, he stays there, and with them for a couple of days, and then he does not know what happens. They dump him on the shores of London, and then he finds himself. He had fainted. He was weak. He was without food and water, and he finds himself all alone, hungry, in a place where he doesn't know what to do and where to go. So, the £1,000,000 banknote. This is by Mark Twain. There's so many movies made of this story. There are a lot of movies which have been made by Mark Twain's story, the £1,000,000 banknote. There you see Henry Adams, the person who acted as Henry Adams, the Gregory Peck, was a very famous actor, and people say that Devanand was to ape Gregory Peck, and he acted in this movie, the £1,000,000 banknote. Here you see he is reading the letter somehow, which comes later in life. Yes, I thought, Vinayak, you are making a presentation. It's me who is talking all the time. So, introducing Henry Adams, who is swept on shore. So this is Henry Adams, and here he is, the actor who acted in this film, Gregory Peck, the Hollywood actor. Now, about the hero, the main character, a poor American living in London. He was a mining clerk's broker from San Francisco. He becomes the object of a wager between millionaire brothers. They bet each other.
Wager means, ma'am?
शर्त लगाना.
Bet.
Bet लगाना.
Mining मतलब
Hello?
mining
He was a mining clerk's broker from San Francisco. Mine होता है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Mine.
खदान जिसको बोला जाता है.
हाँ. Yes. So he becomes the object. He becomes the victim of two wealthy persons, brother A and brother B, who made a bet. And they bet each other a lot of money. And what happens? The story is summarizing it. In the end, Henry feels like he won something better than millions. He found his wife Portia because of the bet. You are not talking about Merchant of Venice Portia.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't get me wrong. So Portia is the daughter of these two, one of the brother A and brother B. I think she's the daughter of brother B.
Yes, ma'am. She's the stepdaughter of brother B, ma'am.
There you see brother A and B. The names are Abel and Gordon. So these are the two. Have you seen the slide before?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I have seen a movie, and in the movie, and there are two persons, A and B, like
Okay.
these two brothers.
A and B. The names are brother A, Abel, and brother B, Gordon. Brother A, Abel, the millionaire brother who believes that the note will be useless. Brother A is a negative person. He feels that the note is going to be useless. Who believes that the note will be useless unless Henry can cash it in. Thinks he will be arrested or starved to death. Brother A does not have any feeling for Henry. He feels he is not going to make it. Either he will be arrested or he is going to starve to death. Mar jayega. At the end,
brother A was more of a game, ma'am.
Huh?
Giving a million. Ma'am, for brother A, it was more of a game because he's the one who initiated the bet between the brothers.
Yeah, and he lost the bet. And then he loses the bet with his brother, and he loses because he could not judge Henry. And I said Henry was the hero of the film. So he has to be good. There has to be some honesty on his face. Something was there in his face which Brother B thought that this person is going to make it. And actually they were looking for a groom for their daughter. So this was the end result. Like they wanted good, honest, maybe poor, but a honest gentleman.
Brother A judged Henry from his outfit, ma'am.
Yeah, but Brother B was a person who could really look through the person and see the honesty and um, the the actual Henry Adams.
Yes.
Brother B, the millionaire brother who believes that Henry will be able to get anything he wants just by possessing the note. By just keeping the note with him, he can have anything he wants because there was some honesty in his face. There was something which clicked, something which told Brother B that yes, this is the perfect person for their daughter Portia. At the end, he won the bet with his brother and gave Henry the job of son-in-law. So what was the job he promised? The job was of a son-in-law. Portia's stepfather, Henry, doesn't find out until the end. So, and they do not know until the end what is what. Henry does not know that Portia is Brother B's and their daughter and they are related somehow. So how does Henry Adam win everything? He wins the game by using his skills.
By using his mind.
Here we talk about leadership skills. Here we talk about communication skills. Here we talk about persuasive skills. Here we talk about convincing skills. So he had it all. And you need, even if you do not have anything in your pocket, but if you have these skills, you can achieve everything. So his convincing powers were great. He was very good at communication. And he was one person, he had with a heart of gold, anything is possible. So you have to be honest in your work. Now tell me what is happening over here.
Ma'am, actually, when he got Henry Adam got a £1 million note, he was not aware that he had got a £1 million note because that note was concealed in an envelope. When he went out from his from the brother's house and because he was hungry, so he straight away went to a restaurant and the restaurant owner name was Harris, ma'am. So when he tried to pay the bill, ma'am, he just put that particular note out of that envelope and tried to pay the bill. But unfortunately, that was a very big note, ma'am, in terms of money. So Harris was not able to give the change, ma'am. So basically, Henry Adam got the food as a credit, ma'am, on the we can say that value of that particular note, ma'am, because that was so valuable.
Why did Harris say that whenever you want, you can come and have your meal over here? Because he knew that he is a very rich person and who carries a £1 million note in his pocket. Then he says that he must be a big shot. And then he says, whenever you want to have food, you can please come here. So here
he was making publicity stunt, ma'am.
Yeah, and Henry Adams was happy because his problem of food and at least food was solved for the moment.
Yes, ma'am.
So one thing solved. So no, but when he sees the note, what happens to him? He is surprised.
He was shocked, ma'am, and then he straight away went to the house. But they have left their house for like around 1 month, and they have leave a note that they are lending that particular note to Henry Adam, and if the other brother wins the bet, then Henry can get whatever he wants.
All right, but the slide shows that after the meal, when he takes out the envelope to pay the bill, the cafe owner Harris and Henry Adams, they are shell shocked. They could not believe their eyes. And then you see the disturbed look on Henry Adams' face. And then suddenly what happens? He rushes to meet the brothers. And he was told that both the brothers have gone out on a vacation for a month. And he handed over the letter, in which it said that you have to carry on for a month and meet me after a month. Right. So Henry earns respect and admiration because he is the possessor of his banknote. So just because he has this banknote, he gets all the attention. People start admiring him. And he gets a suit for free because, he gets a suit for free because because it is assumed that he is a rich man. So with food taken care of, the hotel room taken care of, so he feels that he is in a good position. And then after the food, he goes to meet the tailor because he needs some proper clothes. So what happens there at the tailor's clerk?
There also, ma'am, he got the credit. Like and the tailor also said, ma'am, that whatever amount of clothes he want, he will be given those clothes, ma'am. He would be given those clothes.
But what did he go? What was his first conversation? He went and said, "Do you have any seconds or any discard clothes which people have not bought, not taken home?" And then he's surprised. The tailor's clerk is surprised. Why such a rich person asking for seconds and discarded? And then whatever he is getting away with, whatever he wants to. So he is given a room in the hotel because of and the credit goes to the £1 billion banknote. And what is the story of the Duke of Frognal?
I don't know, ma'am, about this character.
Okay. All right. Before he is given a suite in the hotel, the people at the counter, at the reception said there are no rooms. We are sorry. But then clumsily, intentionally, he dropped that banknote just for them to see. And then when they saw that he is in a possession of the banknote, they quickly gets the room vacated. The room which Harry has been given, this room, was occupied by the Duke of Frognal. So he was kicked out of his suite, and which was given to now Henry Adams.
Ma'am, we are from 2 o'clock, ma'am.
Okay. Fine then. We'll continue with this in the next class. A lot of questions which are you need to know because of your some doubts here and there.